The following tutorial will cover reviewing billing and finalizing an exam. Following this tutorial, you will be able to review billing and override if needed, review I-code calculation, review E&M code calculation, finalize from the visit note overview, finalize from the Home tab, and create an amendment. Once a visit has been documented, the visit overview provides all the information regarding the visit that was billed. The Chief Complaint tile has a gray circle with two numbers. The first number represents the HPI elements documented within the Chief Complaint. The second number represents the number of systems that were documented in the review of systems. The Vision exam has a number 5. This represents the 5 tabs within the Vision exam that contribute toward billing. Those are visual acuity, pupils, motility, visual field, and IOP. The Ocular exam tile represents the exam details documented within the Perform exam. 10 represents that there were 10 billing elements documented, and you will receive a 10 if you've done a dilated exam. If you did a non-dilated exam, this number would be 8. Impressions and Plan tile has a 2 because we documented 2 diagnosis codes. At the bottom of the screen is the listing of all the billing codes. Here we have the 92014 along with the myopia and the blepharitis diagnosis, the fitting fee for the contacts, our external photos, and our refraction. The procedure name, Contact Lens Assessment, has a 0 because this was a plan where we could have documented a fee, but I didn't, because the fees are actually going to generate within your practice management system. Doctors have the ability to override billing for each visit. There's 3 options in override billing. They are override suggested billing code, bill visit based on time, and override bill. Override suggested billing code would allow me to change my procedure code. So I am currently at a 92014. If I wanted to bill that as a 92012, I could change that and override the code, or I could even choose no E&M visit if I didn't want to bill at all. The bill based on time you won't use. The override bill is very similar to the CMS. Your diagnosis codes list at the top. Those can be reordered. You can manually add more in. You can clear any out. Same with the CPT codes. Here you can add or remove modifiers. You can clear line items or manually add in, and then save your changes. This will not affect your visit note. This will only affect what billing is being sent over to your practice management system. The 99 versus 92 code button is going to show 2 additional buttons. There's a 99 code and a 92 code, and it's going to default the I code as long as your documentation has met the criteria for that coding. However, if this is a medical visit, you could select the 99214 and change that code over to the 99 code. These dollar amounts are not your reimbursement amount. This is actually the national average for reimbursement for these codes. So if you wanted to change this to a medical code, you could just simply touch the 99214 and that will automatically switch the codes over. The coding review button at the bottom of the visit note overview, when selected, will take us to the encounter form. And the encounter form is going to show the justification of the billing. We see the diagnosis and procedure codes. As we scroll down, there's an I-code calculation section, and it shows how we've accomplished a 92014. Evaluate complete visual system. If you did a dilated exam and you marked pupils, motility, visual field normal in the vision exam, this will default to a yes. If this says no, it is possible you forgot to do the marked pupils in the visual exam, or this is a non-dilated exam. New condition or existing condition with a new problem. This will show an impression here if you documented an impression as new or existing diagnosis with a new problem. The information pulls when you select the classification for the diagnosis. Initiate or continue diagnostic and treatment program. If a follow-up plan or any diagnostic and treatment is documented, you'll get credit for this. History is your chief complaint and review of systems. General medical observations. When selecting an exam set under Perform Exam, your system automatically defaults the appearance, orientation, and mood of your patient as normal, and this should default to yes. Gross visual fields will default yes if you chose Mark Pupils, Motility, and Visual Field as normal in the vision exam, and this is pertaining to the visual field. Basic sensory motor will default yes if you chose Mark Pupils, Motility, Visual Field normal, and this is pertaining to the motility section. External adnexa, this is defaulted within the exam set. Ophthalmoscopy will default yes if you did a dilated examination with dilated discs and fundus, which is required for a comprehensive code. If you did a non-dilated exam, this will be set to no. The E&M calculation will provide the justification for the 99 procedure code. Here we're seeing the different components for that 99 code. So we have HPI, which is our history of present illness. We documented 5 elements for billing. For the review of systems, we did review 2 systems. For patient family social history, we documented 1 family history. And as we scroll down, we can see here for the exam, we have 15 elements. That's counting the 5 additional elements within the vision exam. And then for the medical decision making, that shows low. The medical decision making is made up of 3 parts. There's problem points, data points, and level of risk. Typically for optometry and ophthalmology, problem points and level of risk are the higher components. Problem points come from various areas in the ocular exam room, such as choosing a diagnosis and then picking whether it's a new diagnosis or documenting the status of an existing diagnosis. The level of risk is determined by 3 separate factors. Those are presenting problems, diagnostic procedures, and management options. Presenting problems are the diagnoses that are selected. When you have multiple diagnosis codes for a visit, this will increase the level of presenting problems. Diagnostic procedures are credited to level of risk when you choose a plan for a diagnostic test, such as automated perimetry or OCT. Most diagnostic tests in optometry and ophthalmology will only count for a minimum level of risk. Management options are credited to level of risk when you choose a specific plan that documents some treatment, such as a treatment regimen or the decision tab in counseling on your refractive diagnoses. Let's go back to the overview screen. And from the visit overview window, we also have the ability here to reorder our impressions. So if I select reorder impressions, again, if I wanted to bill medical rather than the refractive diagnosis first, I can just drag and drop the blepharitis to the top and save those changes. There are several ways a visit can be finalized. From the Visit Overview screen, select the Finalize Visit button at the bottom. You can also finalize from within the Visit Note view. So if we go to Documents, in the upper right-hand corner, we have a Finalize Visit option here. You can also finalize a visit from the patient chart and from the home screen on the iPad. I'm going to select Finalize Visit here from the Visit Overview. And that is actually going to open up our Finalize Note acknowledgement window. So we're going to go ahead here and select Finalize. When choosing Finalize, please note that this is going to lock this visit. No changes will be able to be made to the visit once it's been finalized on the acknowledgement screen. If you have any charges or RXs that have not been sent over to the practice management, those will automatically be sent during finalization. Now we're back at the patient chart. Once the visit is completed finalizing, you'll see the little green F and the final visit under status. You can select a finalized note and open it up, and here we're able to review all the information. The word preliminary is no longer across the center of the screen because we've now finalized our visit. In the upper right-hand corner, this visit can be printed and handed to the patient. However, all finalized visits are also available to your patient through their portal. The encounter form, again, is going to show us all the justifications for billing. Bill is going to show us a CMS form completed. The claim forms are actually going to be filed through your practice management system. The RX will show if any therapeutic RXs were prescribed during the visit. You could print those therapeutic RXs here, but more than likely you'll be e-prescribing those from the system. Orders and pathology requests will not be used. Image interpretation is a separate report for any diagnostic tests you performed. The patient handout is the counseling statements. So if you documented counseling plans in the ocular exam room, those are going to show here. The patient handout also provides detailed information to your patient through the patient portal as well. So they will have access to this, but you can print this out here as well. The Hide from Portal hyperlink in the status column means that the patient will have visibility of this visit when they log into their portal. If you do not want to show this visit to the patient through their portal, you can select or touch Hide from Portal, and this will change to Show in Portal. Once a visit is finalized, again, I cannot make any changes to that visit, but I can, however, create an amendment to that visit. At the bottom of the chart, in the Notes tab, this is going to list all of the notes generated for the patient. And here is one of our finalized visits. And you'll see the word amend in the action column. So if you needed to create an amendment, you'll select amend. You'll enter a title and type in the body the information that you want to add to your visit. So maybe we did a second IOP reading and we used the Goldman and we forgot to document that in the vision exam. We can add this information here and then save the information to that visit. You'll also notice here under the action column, this is another way that we can finalize a patient's visit. You can select finalize, the finalize acknowledgement window will open, and you can choose to finalize again. On the home screen in the Notes view, there's two ways a visit can be finalized. A batch finalization can be done by touching the word Select, and then you would just simply touch each visit to highlight that you wish to be finalized. Once they're all highlighted, you would select the Finalize here at the top. The Finalize note on the acknowledgement window will open up so you can finalize here, and all of those visits will be finalized at once. You can also finalize individual visits here from the Notes tab. So you would just simply touch Finalize on that visit, and again, the Finalize acknowledgement window will open and you just finalize again. Thank you for listening. We hope you found this tutorial useful. Please visit our support community to view additional tutorials.